So I wanted to do this video to try and offer some clarity to audiences and people who probably aren't content creators, and see if we can also come up with some solutions about a situation that's gotten a lot more public attention recently, being the combination of music, copyright issues, and YouTube. It seems that although this has been going on for years and has been an issue for a lot of content creators, it came to light a lot more publicly recently because of an issue with a bassist named Lise Sklar. Lise Guerard is a renowned bassist who's played with Phil Collins, James Taylor, and has had an incredibly prolific career. And during the current conditions, he, like many other artists, had started doing covers or telling stories and kind of showing the history of their music and doing small performances or play-alongs with their music. He recently put up a song that he actually recorded for James Taylor. He not only recorded, but he toured with James Taylor performing the music, so he is integral to this performance and to this music. And apparently, it was taken down by the copyright holders and I guess people representing James Taylor and his music. Needless to say, I think most people find this kind of untenable. It's just not an acceptable thing to do, to take down a performer explaining and demonstrating the work he's done. Not only that, but this is supposed to be covered under law as fair use. It's being used as education, and it's being used to demonstrate and educate people how he played a part and how it came to be and what he does when he performs it. So in its most fundamental form, it's actually a violation of copyright law as far as I can see it. And it's just being accepted that that's just going to happen to you. This has happened to a number of content creators, and it's an almost daily issue. Rick Beato, another creator who does a show called What Makes This Song Great, has done amazing work. I mean, it's a phenomenal channel if you haven't checked it out, an absolute goldmine. But he takes apart songs and demonstrates parts of it or analyzes it and shows what makes the song great, the different instrument parts, the composition. And he's had takedowns, he's had copyright strikes, he's had the same amount of issues and more, because he does it on a more regular basis than Lise Sklar has. This has happened to huge creators on down to smaller channels and things. You have other big creators like Adam Neely, who again has a great channel, and people are always trying to find any way to get around it just to offer music education to the YouTube audience. A number of different ways, trying to manipulate the sound or, really kind of make it almost pointless by having to do so much damage to the sound, trying to get around the algorithms that ID this content so that they can teach and try and educate music consumers and musical artists and things that want to find this information on YouTube. And after all, isn't this kind of what YouTube was supposed to be about? Information, education, being able to show things and trade information back and forth. I know that both Adam Neely and Rick Beato have put up videos about their struggles with it. I know Rick famously had one where he got a copyright reversed concerning, I think it was Led Zeppelin, and he's had a recent issue with another song. My channel isn't that big, but I've had struggles with it already multiple times. I do a show called Metal Bass Microscope. I had to put the brakes on it for a little while I try and figure out if it's worth it to keep possibly hitting this copyright tripwire. I would pick a player and demonstrate their gear, their playing style, use short audio clips from songs, demonstrating their tone or maybe something that they played and why it worked for that section of a song or something, and even using 10 to 12 second clips, sometimes even shorter than that, I would get hit with multiple strikes per episode to the point where I started getting nervous about takedowns. So where does this leave us? What it means for a lot of content creators is that they can put years into developing a channel, trying to build an audience and connect with musicians or artists or just curious fans, and trying to offer music education and music history information that could very easily, in one fell swoop, get completely taken down or have incredible amount of hours of work and research just struck down because of an automated algorithm most of the time that can catch one of your videos before you've even published it. I, on many occasions, have been uploading a video, and within seconds of it finally finishing the transfer, I get that magic email telling me, Houston, we have a problem. It happens that fast. It's so arbitrary that it's become a complete crapshoot as to what's going to happen when you upload anything. One of the most extreme examples that happened to myself is I played a cover of one of my own songs that I have the sole rights to. And I got a copyright strike, apparently from myself. Even when I notified YouTube, and even when I went to the rights management group, I got no resolution to it and wound up having to take down the video of me playing my own music. Now, there is an arbitration system that you can appeal to, but here's the problem with it. If you go to appeal, the first thing that happens is you are warned that by appealing, that you may be in danger of having your channel taken down. So talk about a deterrent to actually trying to fight for yourself. I mean, you could either accept the copyright strike, or you can try and contest it and roll the dice with, they may come back and say, well, we're going to take the video in its entirety, or we may just shut down your channel. Good luck with that. So that's how most people just don't wind up contesting it and just are left to deal with the results. So what are the benefits? Who is this helping? As far as I can see it, there's only one party being helped. And it's not YouTube, it's not the audience, and it's not the content creators. And I'm not here to bash YouTube. I'm genuinely not. I'm actually putting this out because I'm hoping that we can preserve the platform and maybe come to some kind of reasonable solution to all this. Because I know most creators would rather have all of their shows and pieces and opinions able to be found in one central location. But you need to look at this from really the rights management groups. If you look at it from their end, they're really the only ones benefiting from this, and in a pretty insidious way. What winds up happening is content creators like myself and Adam Neely and Rick and even Lee, anybody putting up this stuff, what they will do most of the time is just monetize that video. They'll take your ability to monetize it away. Like on my metal-based microscope episodes, there's commercials in them, but I'm not benefiting from those commercials. I don't place them there. They place them there and they take the revenue from it. So they don't have to do any work on behalf of an artist. They just have this farm of content creators out there creating hours and hours of content for them for free, for them to monetize, while they do absolutely nothing. They quite literally are making money for just attacking people and then leeching off of them. That's pretty despicable. It genuinely is. And it's not about money in the end. It's, most of the people I know that are doing content like this, we're not getting rich off of it, and we're not in it for that. But it is pretty insulting knowing that somebody else is monetizing something for something you're perfectly legally allowed to do, or that they'll just flat out take the video down, which makes even less sense. If anything, we're giving an incredible amount of free advertising and bringing awareness to artists who may not be getting a lot of attention at a time, or just increasing the amount of people who are going to investigate these artists and their music, and possibly digital sales. It's all a win for these companies, but they'd rather be short-sighted about it and just see if they can either monetize or just slam your channel down to the benefit of no one. This doesn't help YouTube, because then they have less content on their channel and less people coming to watch it. It doesn't help the content creators because they're constantly in danger of putting things up and wondering if it's going to succeed or not, or if they're going to get their channel taken down. And it doesn't help the consumers and people watching because they're being robbed of a ton of fantastic content they could be getting free of charge without even knowing it because they never see it. So where do I think this is going to go? I think it's pretty obvious that if this keeps going and creators want to keep making this content for their audiences, it's going to drive them to other platforms. And then everybody loses. Then you have to rebuild an audience at a different location. YouTube loses all that audience once they finally figure it out or get sick of constantly missing out. And then even these rights companies miss out on all the free advertising, all the revenue collection, all of that. So it really isn't helping anyone. I know a lot of content creators are trying to push this forward and really making a big noise about this, but it doesn't seem like they're making much headway with YouTube. I think the only solution to the thing that might turn this around is for people in the audience and content consumers to start really expressing to YouTube how important this content is and that a better solution has to be found. Most of the people doing this are artists themselves. I'm an artist. I have a band. I have my own music and things. Of course we want our rights protected. But these companies aren't really protecting our rights. They're harming us. And it's being done in the name of rights protection, but that's not what's happening. So I know myself and Rick has even mentioned it. We don't care even about these commercials going on, stuff that we're creating. But when we have to constantly live in fear of takedowns, strikes, possibly our channels getting deleted, then that's when it's really gone off the deep end and a hard solution has to be found. If people watching, the fans, the people getting a lot out of these channels start contacting YouTube and telling them, we want to stick around, but we're going to start going other places to get this content if you won't let it be delivered to us, maybe that's when they'll listen. I think a lot of what creators say or give feedback to YouTube about falls on deaf ears because really we're not the ones that they're concerned about. They're concerned about the audience, about you. They want your eyes to stay on this channel, on this network, on this page. So if they start hearing en masse from people, we will start taking our eyeballs somewhere else. If you don't make some changes, maybe that'll finally have an effect. And again, this isn't a lash out at YouTube. I'm actually hoping for their success and for them to make some changes so that people aren't driven off the platform. I know for myself, I'm having to consider it for some of my material, but I'd much rather be able to keep it all in one central location so that people who subscribe to my channel and follow my work can come to one place and get all of my content. I want nothing more than YouTube's great success because that means I have a potential for it too. And then I can go see Rick Beato and I can go check out Adam Neely and all these other great creators and be able to find the entire volume of their work there. And just like this encyclopedic library of music education and information, I don't have to run from place to place trying to find where different pieces of their content has had to end up because of these over-the-top and draconian rules and threats being made by these companies. So I encourage you, if you're getting a lot out of the music education, these lessons, these great shows that so many of these creators are putting out, please start making your voice heard. Please start addressing YouTube because really you're the ones with the most important voice. That's really, I think, the only thing that's going to change it in the end. So with that said, that pretty much covers everything. I hope this educated you on really what's going on behind the scenes with a lot of the issues with copyright and creators. And the best thing you can do if you want to support any of the creators or people creating content, subscribe to their channels, share their content. YouTube really pays attention to that and it amplifies their voice. And it really helps out in getting that material exposed to a larger and larger audience, and a larger audience has a larger voice. So make yours heard. In any case, thanks for sticking around, for checking this out. And if you have any comments or thoughts, I'd love to hear your ideas about possible solutions or just your general thoughts on this situation. Hit it below in the comments, and I will see you down there. Be well.